talk about it. Tell me all about it. I'm here. I wanna know what's on your mind. Ooh, the world needs to hear from you, and I'm so glad to have a conversation to reach the nation. And it's all about you. We'll help each other to discover innovative ways to positively change the world. Let's talk about, let's talk about, yeah. Let's talk about conversations with Nicole.
Greetings. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Conversations with Nicole. I am Nicole Everett, your host, and Conversations with Nicole is a talk show based in Tallahassee, Florida, focused on connecting the community through conversations. And today is what I call Wellness Wednesday, which is an opportunity for you, me, and my guests to talk about an interesting topic. And today, we are going to talk about how to elevate your style to increase your income with Dr. Denise Barrett. Yes. And so I'm super excited and delighted to have her here with me. I've known Denise for many decades, too many that I don't even want to name. But yes, she's a home girl. And so I'm really glad to have her here tonight. So we are talking to the ladies tonight. The men can listen in, but this is really for the ladies. So tag a lady friend, a sister, a cousin, a auntie, a niece, a mama, and let them know they need to be on here because this is going to be a great conversation. How to elevate your style to increase your income. But before I introduce Denise, Dr. Barrett, I want to hear from you. Where are you tuning in from? Let us know in the comments. Give us your city and state so we can give you a shout out. I see my mom on here down in Miami. Thank you for being here, Mom. Miss Keisha Washington, also known as Vicky Lane here in Tallahassee. Thank you for being here. Miss Brittany, thank you for being here, Brittany, who is also here in Tally. And Miss D Jackson, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. So listen, tag a friend. Y'all tell them no, they need to be in this conversation. Your questions, your comments are welcome, and this is going to be a great time tonight. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share some of Dr. Barrett's bio. So Dr. Denise Barrett is a champion for women's empowerment, serving as the director of programs and partnerships for the Assistments Foundation, a national nonprofit dedicated to improving student learning through equity and innovative technology. She is also the CEO and executive director of Beautiful Educated Coaching and Consulting. Her side hustle and passion project focus on image coaching and personal branding, which is what we are going to dive into today. With a BS from the Florida Agriculture and Mechanical University, an MS from Florida International University, and PhD from Florida Atlantic University, she combines educational expertise and practical experience. She leverages her background to help professional women refine their image and personal brand to increase their income and impact. Now, who could use some of that? Raise your hand. Me. So, at Beautifully Educated, she focuses on charisma, communication, and confidence through her Shine Bright coaching method and her Glam life success strategy, which teaches the practices of goal setting, learning, attitude, and mindfulness to align self image and personal brand with career and income goals. As a former Miss FAMU and published author, she currently hosts the Beautifully Educated show on YouTube, offering advice on personal branding and professional success. She's a motivational speaker, devoted mother, and mentor. So, y'all help me welcome Dr. Denise Barrett. Yay! Welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Nicole. It's truly a pleasure. I've been watching your show for so long. And as you stated, we've known each other for a very long time. So it's my pleasure to be here this evening.
Absolutely. So, Dr. Denise, tell the people who is Dr. Denise Barrett, not what you do, but who are you in your own words?
Okay, thank you. Dr. Denise is a woman of many Interests and talents and passions. I am a mother of a wonderful son. I am, as you mentioned, a proud rattler. Um, and I am a lifelong educator and lover of beauty. So put that all together, and I am just simply a woman that is helping women to embrace the power of their beauty from the inside out, and as a benefit to help them increase their confidence, their charisma, and their communication to help them be all that they can be. And as you mentioned, Nicole, to help increase that impact and income.
Love it. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Well,
Thank you.
thank you so much again for being here. I see a few more folks have joined us. We got Peachy in the house. Thank you for being here, Peachy, who was here in Tallahassee. And Mr. Michael Cork has joined us. What's up, Cork? Thank you for being here. He's also here in Tallahassee. Cork, tell the ladies in your life they need to be on here because this is gonna be a great conversation. You can listen in, but this is really for the professional women. All right. All right. Well, Denise, talk to me a little bit about Beautifully Educated and what kind of prompted you to start your business.
Thank you, Nicole. Great question. So, as I mentioned, as you said, who is Denise? Denise is lover of all things beauty. And Denise is also a lifelong passionate educator. So, combining those two parts, very important dimensions of myself, I decided to finally act on my passion and create Beautifully Educated Enterprises, which is designed to help individuals, particularly women, become beautifully educated in whatever it is they desire. Because I feel that education truly is the pathway to success, and we all are capable. And it does not necessarily mean you have to have a college degree or some sort of fancy title, but it's just to be able to empower yourself to gather the knowledge in which you need to be successful in whatever you're setting out to do, and how to leverage that knowledge successfully to achieve your goals.
Nice. All right. Very good. I see my
Thank
sister Shayla has joined us. Thank you for being here, Shay. So let's dive in with this topic: how to elevate your style to increase your income. What does your style have to do with your income?
you. Well, I would say image is everything, even though we don't necessarily want, some of us don't necessarily understand that concept or don't necessarily agree with it. But first impressions are lasting.
Mm.
And the way people see you and perceive you is very highly likely how they will treat you and how you will be perceived in the workplace, in your relationships, and just in any interaction that you may have throughout the course of your life. So, the way you carry yourself and the way you put yourself together has a huge impact on your professional and personal success. And
Mm.
as we talked, previously, Nicole, this is not just my opinion, but this is grounded in research. I found statistics that indicate that people who have a polished professional appearance and brand make up to 40% more than their colleagues that do not. Yes. And
40%
it's the
more.
same, 40% more, as well
Wow.
as with promotion and favor in the workplace. So appearance does matter, and it's very important to be intentional. That's why I created my glam strategy, because whatever goal you're seeking, it's important that you align those goals with the appearance that you're putting out to the world.
Okay. Listen, I'm gonna ask a question of the viewers. Who wants to make 40% more? Me? Let us know in the comments if you want to make 40% more. Listen, Denise, if you got the secret sauce to that, tell us how to do it.
Yes, ma'am. Well, again, it all goes back to being intentional, right? And that's what really motivated me to create my glam strategy, because it helps women to be intentional, as well as it gives them a strategy to rely on, and a simple system to implement in whatever it is they're trying to achieve. Now, in my business, I liken it to personal brand style, which encompasses someone's style, which is their wardrobe, their look, which encompasses their hair, makeup, the way they groom themselves, their personal grooming habits, as well as their voice. which is how they communicate both verbally and non-verbally, because the way we show up and our facial expressions and our attitudes is a strong form of nonverbal communication. So, with
Mm,
that, I created my Glam Life Success Strategy that stands for goal setting, learning and leveraging, attitude, and mindfulness. And with that, in order to be able to be successful and achieve anything, we must have a clear goal, right? So that's the G in goal
okay.
setting, I mean, GLAM. And then once
Okay.
we determine our goal, it's important that whatever it is to take us to that goal, we learn, right? And then we leverage that learning to get there. And then throughout the process, it's very important to have a positive attitude. And I often liken attitude with accessories, because I say
Mm,
a good attitude is one of the most beautiful accessories that you can wear. And then
yes.
finally, and for mindfulness, because it's important that we are mindful in all in which we do.
Nice. Wow. I hope y'all got all of that. I'm taking notes. Okay. All right, because we need to know how to get our glam on. So goal setting, leveraging, attitude, and
Learning, leveraging, mhm,
say it again.
attitude. Okay. Goal setting, learning
Mm,
and leveraging,
okay.
attitude, and mindfulness.
Nice. 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 So let's start with goal setting. How would you go about setting goals? Like what's your kind of course of action in terms of how what types of goals you should set, whether these are personal, professional, financial. Let's talk about how we set goals.
Okay. Well, I've had the pleasure of speaking with numerous women in this arena. And as I talk to them, one of the first things I ask, I kind of go in reverse. I say, has there ever been a time in the workplace or on your in your business where you may not have gotten promoted, or you may have been overlooked, or you may not be getting the clients that you want? And 99.9% of the time, all of the women have a story or can reference an instance in which that happened to them. And I asked them how that made them feel. And then they share that. And it's usually very emotional. And then from there, we set career related goals or business related goals, or maybe personal goals that may have stemmed some of those negative outcomes in which they didn't like. And we set those goals. And then from there, we say, okay, this is where we want to be in our life based on these experiences and based on what we want and what we know we're capable of achieving. So once we've done that, we're very clear on what it is we are trying to achieve. And then we can go into the L of the process, which is the learning and the leveraging.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. So learning and leveraging. What tips can you give us as it relates to that?
Certainly. So again, I'm going to use the example of, say, in a professional situation where a woman is seeking promotion and she constantly gets overlooked. Her
Hmm.
goal setting may look like, okay, I know I want to become a manager, or I want to become the principal of the school. So I need to align my style, because that's the space I'm in right now, my personal brand style to that goal. And
Mm,
look at what women in leadership are currently wearing. Look at the trends. What is it that I'm not aligning with? And how can I align what is expected in that particular role and that particular organization? Because it's very important to know the culture of the organization, yet still being authentic to me and knowing who I
mm,
am, and not diminishing my authentic self, but highlighting my strengths, highlighting the wonderful problem solver that I am, and highlighting the asset that I can be to that organization or to my business through the way I'm presenting myself. So once that goal is set, we then learn even more. What does it look like? Am I to wear suits every day? Am I in a creative environment where I can be business casual, but yet still professional with a pop of flair and color and accessories, right? And once I determine what is the right fit,
yes.
I leverage that into finding that particular position and going after
Hmm.
it.
Okay, nice. So Michael Cork had a comment. He said, "Look like where you're going, and not just where you're at."
Yes,
Did you?
Michael, that's excellent. And I learned a long time ago that a woman should dress two positions ahead of her. So if she's
Mm,
a teacher and she's aspiring to become a principal, look like a principal in the classroom because you are the principal of your classroom. Start
mm.
owning it where you are.
I love
Yes.
that. I love that. I love that. That's great advice. Start owning it where you are. So look like the principal of that classroom, and
Absolutely.
like you said, look where you're going, not just where you're at. So that really takes us to mindfulness, right? Because really, it's mindset, right? You have to have a mind to
Mhm.
um to like he said, look like where you're going, not where you at. To even though even though positionally you may not be where you want to be, you just have to put on that like I said, mindset is the word that just keeps coming to mind each day as you are, walking through this process, through this journey, right?
Absolutely. And being mindful, so it is a journey and it is a process. So once you try it out, how are people responding to you differently? Right?
Mm,
If the answer is yes, and they're responding to you in the manner in which you would like that, then you keep getting better at it. But if it's not working, then you must be mindful enough to pivot, right? And find something that does work. And then in
mhm.
addition to that, as we talked before, Nicole, my three pillars of my company include helping a woman improve her confidence, her charisma, and her communication. So it's important that as we gain these things, are we seeking those opportunities to stand out where we're displaying our strengths? Because in addition to looking the part, right, we have to be the part. And
Yes.
in doing so, and in getting yourself together in terms of feeling confident in the skin you're in and having that charisma about you and communicating more effectively, you will seek the opportunities to get you noticed and to get you, if it's if you're at a job, promoted, or if you're in your own business, attracting the clients, your ideal clients, to get you to become that $1 million producer or that $1 billion producer, whatever it is you're seeking. Having those three principles in your life will help get you there.
So, what do you attribute the confidence to? Like, what, from your perspective, is the basis of that, the core of that? Because I think sometimes, maybe, especially in a professional environment, it might be a bit intimidating. So, where does the confidence come from for you, Dr. Denise?
Well, I often say that confidence is fleeting, right? One
Mm,
day, and this is for all of us, I think a lot of people won't admit it, but some days we're confident, some days we're not, right?
mm,
So it's all about being able to build yourself up when you're not in those spaces where you feel confident. And
mhm,
confidence comes from being prepared, right? It comes from being aware, and it
mhm.
comes from believing in yourself. So a lot of my company helps with the preparation and the awareness with the goal of helping someone believe in themselves more to develop that confidence. And even on those days when we don't feel as confident, we know where to go deep within ourselves to bring it out and to
Mm.
keep it going. And that's what
Okay.
I live by. So that works for Dr. Denise too.
All right. Wonderful. I'm glad you said that every day we don't feel confident, because I think that's real. And while we may project a confidence maybe on social media, or kind of wear masks, especially as women, um, sometimes it's just not there. And so, how do we encourage ourselves? How do we, build that confidence? Like you said, believing in yourself, being prepared, um, being self aware. All of those things play a major role. So I appreciate you sharing that. So then, charisma. How do you, somebody might say, I'm not really charismatic. Maybe I'm an introvert. Maybe, the words don't come easily for me, or what have you. So where's the charisma? Tell us how we tap into that.
Okay, well, the charisma is what one of the more uh, nouveau words now is executive presence, right? So being able to build that presence comes from confidence. And
Mm,
it's a number of things working together. And even if you are not necessarily a very extroverted person, paying attention to detail with the way you present yourself
mm-hmm,
will give you the confidence you need and give you that presence, right? And then from there, as I mentioned before, um, I want to say it's about 70% of the way we're communicating is nonverbal. So even
mm,
if you're not extroverted, really paying attention to your brand and your style and having your brand and your style speak to your authentic self will help to
mm,
give you the charisma in which you need, because my charisma is not going to be yours and it's not going to be somebody else's down the street. But once
right.
you have all of those elements and you know how to leverage them,
Mm-hmm.
that charisma will shine through.
Okay. All right. So I heard executive presence, paying attention to the details. So, okay. And then communication. There are, many ways to communicate. So it's not just written, it's not just oral, our body language, we're communicating things as well, our facial expressions. So tell us, how can we effectively communicate?
Okay, well, so from the nonverbal sense, getting in touch with your authentic self and
Mm-hmm.
really learning how to present your best authentic self on the outside speaks volumes, because again, that's going to lead into your confidence. And then in terms of communicating with confidence, kind of goes back to what I said about being prepared, knowing your stuff, and knowing what
Mm-hmm.
you're going after. Because when you're in a situation like that, even again, if you're not an extroverted person, you are able to communicate with confidence because you know what you're talking about. You're confident in what you're saying, and you're
Mm-hmm.
speaking through your authentic voice. Oftentimes, we don't come off as confident when we're trying to wing it or
Mm,
we're not being ourselves, right? Some
gotcha.
people say, speak from your heart,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
that
So,
truly helps with communication.
okay. So speaking from your heart.
And now, granted, there are some more technical aspects of communication. Like I highly recommend um, investing in a public speaking course for everyone, right? To gain
Mm,
that confidence or to join Toastmasters or
mm,
something of the sort in order to hone your speaking skills, because people who communicate the most effectively usually make the most money. To being able to lead, being able to persuade in a positive manner and really bring groups together and communicating with clarity and effectiveness is priceless in the workplace and in business and in relationships, really. So it's very important to invest in our communication skills.
yes, I agree wholeheartedly. I have joined Toastmasters myself. I'm not in it currently, but for that very reason. That's a great idea. And like you said, communication is very important, all types of communication. So we have a few more folks that have joined us. Let me pause and recognize them. Tracy Gole, good evening. Thank you for being here. Sharice Du Bois, thank you for being here. Princess, howdy. Thank you for being here. Peachy said, yes, that's very true. And then Miss Iris has just joined us from in Tallahassee as well. Thank you for being here. So, ooh, all right. So I hope y'all got all of that. Like I said, I'm taking notes. We've talked GLAM, which is goal setting, learning and leveraging, attitude, mindfulness. That's the acronym for GLAM. And then confidence, charisma, and communication. And again, this is an interactive live, so any questions or comments are welcome. So I want to transition a little bit to, this our style and our image. Like, so what are some of the mistakes that women often make as it relates to their style and their image?
Okay, now the fun part, right? Okay, well, I would say the first one of the first mistakes, and I do webinars on this topic often, and
Mhm.
and you can word it differently, but basically it's a lack of awareness, right? Whether it
Mm,
be a lack of awareness of their authentic self, or a lack of awareness of their personal style, or a
mhm,
lack of awareness of the dress code for the event they're going to, or the job they work, or the promotion they're seeking. So generally, it's a lack of awareness and not taking the time to become aware and intentional about what it is that they're trying to achieve, hence the goal, right? Because
Mhm.
when you're clear on your goal, you're very aware and you're very intentional. And
Mhm.
again, as I mentioned, Nicole, I have spoken to numerous women, and you
Mhm.
would be amazed how many of them said, I just haven't been intentional. It just hasn't been something that I focused on. And
Mm.
as a result, I'm not getting the results that I want or need, and I'm not making the impact. And I don't feel good about how I look every day. I know I
Mm.
could make some improvements. So that lack of awareness and intention is huge. Then I
Okay.
would say that from that usually stems a lot of impulse buying. Because
Mm.
if you don't know what you are and what your style is, when you go into the stores and you find something cute, or oh, that's nice, or it's on sale, I've got to get it because it's on sale, and you're getting it, you're not trying it on, you bring it
Mm.
home, it doesn't fit, you don't feel like driving to take it back, then your
Mhm.
closet gets full with all these things that you don't like, that don't bring out your best self, and
Mm.
it's a vicious cycle that, oh, I have nothing to wear. I have to go back and try to find something to wear again. So I would say impulse buying and not being aware of your wardrobe, not having a capsule wardrobe or a uniform,
Mm.
right? Kind of puts us all over the place. So that is mistake number two that I would say that many of us, including myself, I was just cleaning out my closet today. I'm like, why did I even get this? What was I thinking? So, we're all guilty of it, but it's definitely a mistake. And once we get into a routine and are very aware of ourselves and what we love, we can create our uniform from that, right? Our
Mhm.
wardrobe, and then the impulse buying diminishes.
So I'm gonna take you back for a moment to the lack of awareness. How important is research so that we can be aware of the dress code of the work environment or events that we want to attend, or just going out in public? What type of how can we become more aware?
Okay, well, it's simple. It doesn't even have to be a complicated process. I'll tell you what I do. Anytime I'm invited somewhere and I'm not crystal clear on what it is or where it is or who's going to be there, the next
Mhm.
thing I ask is what is the attire? What is the dress code? Because I want to make sure that I am appropriate,
Mhm.
um, but appropriate for me and in my authentic self,
Okay.
right? So it's very important to find out what the attire is, what the expectation is, and who will be there. Is it
Mhm.
going to be a bunch of older conservative people? Will it be young teenagers? And what is my goal? Why am I going? Am I going to speak? Am I going to network for another position? Very
Mm.
different, right? Am I going as the friend of a friend just to support her?
Mhm.
There's so many different reasons why we attend things. So it's important that some thought gets put into what we wear. The saying, when in Rome, do like the Romans.
Mhm.
So, it's great to stand out, but again, doing our research and setting the goal of what we're trying to achieve when we get there is very important. I helped a coworker of mine. She's in her mid 50s and she was attending her niece's wedding in New York. And I
Mhm.
asked her what her goals were. And she says, well, I'm 56 and I want to look good in the pictures that I take, and I want to feel confident. I haven't seen my relatives in a long time, and I
Mhm.
want them to think that I look good, right?
Mm.
Those things were important to her, and she
Okay.
wanted to feel good in the skin she was in. So those were very clear goals that I could help her with for that wedding, as well as, is it a formal wedding? Is it going to be inside? Is it going to be outside?
Mm.
Um, how many people are going to be attending? What is
Mm.
the venue? So those things were able to help her find the ideal wardrobe to help her external and her internal goals be realized.
Nice. Okay. No, those are good questions to ask. So thank you for sharing that. And then the impulse buying, Keisha raised her hand and said guilty. It's kind of quiet. Keisha's the only one that's, having this confessional about the impulse buying. But yes, I am guilty of that as well. And she said, then you push all chunkiness into the clothes you brought on emotions. Absolutely, Keisha. Absolutely. So we got to do better on that impulse buying and not just because it's on sale, even if it's for $1, I mean we got to get it, right?
Right. And then, Nicole, might I add, one
Mm-hmm.
other mistake is a lack of routine.
Mm.
A lack of routine, because I was there as well. And OMG, how stressful it is when you wake up, you don't have your clothes laid out. And it doesn't have to be anything major, but have an idea. Pull a dress out, put something out, and put it out um, in the front of your closet,
Mm.
and know what you want to wear the next day. That
Mm-hmm.
reduces anxiety and stress. And, you're clear. Okay, once you get into a routine of your wardrobe, you know what looks good, you have your core color, and that's another show, Nicole. But I think every woman should determine her own core color and work within that, because then everything coordinates. It's much easier to pack, and you have your system down. So having that routine makes it easy to get dressed every day, makes it a pleasure to get dressed every day, because you already know that whatever you put on is going to look great on you. There's no guesswork, and it just takes all of the stress and anxiety out of it, and you can start your day. It's less decision making. Some of us are suffering from decision making fatigue, and that
Ooh.
help reduce that. And I'm going to give you another story. I was getting ready to go actually to our alma mater. I just had my reunion, mind you.
Yes.
Go Viking! And one of my friends down there called me. She goes, "What are you going to wear?" I said, "Girl, I don't have. I'm not worried about that." I
Mm.
said, because I got my routine in place. Packing is going to be a breeze. I already know what I'm going to wear each and every day to all the events. So
Yes.
my life is simplified in that manner. It's going to take me 30 minutes to pack my suitcase and get out of here. And I
Wow.
can't say that that was always how I was.
Mm-hmm.
I used to get so stressed when it came to those things. But now I don't think anything of it, because I know what looks good. I know my colors. And I'm going to put on my pearls or something of the sort. I know my shoes, and it's going to work.
Wow. Love
Yes.
it.
Mhm.
Peachy said yes to core color. And Iris said, I plan my outfits in advance for each work week so I'm not scrambling at the last minute to find clothes to wear. I love that.
I
This helps
love it too.
time and helps me with putting my clothes together. That's great.
Yes, absolutely.
Hmm.
Freedom.
Yes, 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 yes. So we are a little more than halfway through our discussion. For those of you who are just tuning in, I am on with Dr. Denise Barrett, and we are talking how to elevate your style to increase your income. How to elevate your style to increase your income. Kiosha just joined us here in Tallahassee. Thank you for being here. And Keisha said, "I just need a good girdle to support everything." All right. So you working on out, sister. But I like this lack of routine. Uh, so it's planning involved in it, right?
Yes,
Um,
it
yeah.
is something,
So, like you
but
said, knowing your core color,
mhm,
all of these things that you've mentioned thus far are really important to help us be even more comfortable in what we're wearing, right?
absolutely.
Hmm.
And my philosophy in one of my workshops is entitled "Create How to Create a Simple System for Your Personal Brand Style, Starting in Your Closet Today."
Mm.
No shopping, right? You got to start in your own closet and start purging anything that doesn't match up with you. And I
Okay.
have ladies usually do the three adjective exercise. I ask them to think of three things that describe them. It could be fun, it
Uh-huh.
could be classy, and it could be adventurous, right? Let's use those for example.
Okay.
Then I said, go in your closet and look at each piece of clothing you have in there. Is it fun? Is it classy? Is it adventurous? If
Mm.
it could be a combination of the three, it could be two, it could be one. If it's not any of them, you
Mm-hmm.
really need to rethink that, because your clothes are a portrayal of your authentic self. And
Mm.
use your adjectives as a lens to purge your closet, and a lens as you go shopping to cut down on that impulse buying.
Okay, that's good.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna ask the ladies in the that are viewing this right now. Give us your three adjectives. Let us know in the comments if you don't mind sharing. Say it again, Denise. What were the three adjectives?
So think of three adjectives that either you would describe yourself as, that you love, or that you think somebody else might describe you as.
Okay.
But positive, three things. Like I said, the example I used was fun, adventurous, and classy. That's just
Okay.
an example. Some people have said, feminine. Some women say glam. Some women say sporty. Some
Mm,
women say happy-go-lucky. So it just depends on what you think of yourself, and it's important for you to come up with your own adjectives and not just use some coined phrases that you've heard before,
right.
because it's your authentic self. So you know what happy-go-lucky means for you. So
Yes.
when you look at that outfit, you're like, oh, nope, this isn't happy go lucky. So it's depressing or something. I don't want it.
Right. All
Yeah.
right. So, ladies, give me just one. You don't have to give me three. Give me one in the comments that
Mhm.
describes you, an adjective. Okay. One comment, one adjective in the comments that describes you. All right. No, no judgment. We just want to, just play along with me. Just play along. All right. I think for me, I would say, oh, goodness. I don't know.
How about
Hmm.
this to help you out, Nicole?
What?
Another good exercise is, what is your superpower?
What is your superpower? Oh, that's a good one. I ask people that all the time about what their greater work is. Um, I think peaceful.
Peaceful. Okay.
Peaceful. Yes.
So that could very well be one of your adjectives. You want your clothes to be peaceful,
Yes.
comfort, comforting.
Yes. We
And
do want comfort.
yes,
Mm. Don't
absolutely.
want no constriction. Yeah, none of that. We want to be free flowing.
That could be one of your adjectives.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yes. All
Hmm.
right. So thank you, ladies, for playing along. I appreciate you. And I see Miss Tan has just joined us. Thank you for being here, Tan. All right. So Peachy said creative. My mom said colorful. Yes, my mom loves color.
Colors. Yeah, I love it.
Keisha, loving and caring. All right. Oh, Kaylin is here. Thank you for being here, Kaylin. She said unconventional. Kaylin has a whole style of her own, honey. She styled me for one of my photo shoots with Michael Cork, and she did a fantastic job.
Nice.
Shayla said caring. Yes. Tangi praying. All right, Miss Jones. Lisa, spontaneous. Love it. All right,
Mhm.
Miss Jeanette, helping. Wonderful. Iris, energetic. Yes. All right. Nice. All right. Wonderful. These are great ones, great adjectives. So thank y'all for playing along. Appreciate that. So then we would identify some attire that goes along with that, right?
Yes, you would go through your closet and just look at each piece.
Okay.
Is this one, two, or three of my adjectives? Is it none of them? If it's
Yeah.
none of them, you need to rethink that, because again, let's go back to the branding and professional space. You want
Mm-hmm.
to be your authentic self, right? Someone said loving. I actually love hearts.
Mm.
So the way I would portray loving is me wearing heart jewelry,
Okay.
or loving colors. Red, is the color of, you see what I'm saying? So in
Mm.
the workplace, it's important that your employer knows who you are, not just as an employer, but who you are, so they can
Gotcha.
tap into your strengths. So that's why
Mm.
it's so important that your clothes represent your authentic self. But when you're
Mhm.
impulse buying and you're out there, you're not thinking, you're like, this is just cute. It might be trendy, but does it match with one of your adjectives? Ask that the
Mm.
next time you're in the stores, ladies.
Good question. Good question. So keep that top of mind. Does this purchase match with my adjectives? Right? Because we don't want to do
Yes.
the impulse buying and we don't want to have a whole bunch of stuff that we got to get rid of. Because I think you gave me a statistic of that we wear like 20% of our wardrobe 80% of the time or something like that.
Yes.
Okay. which means the other 80% of our wardrobe is just sitting there.
Absolutely. And that's for a reason. We
Mm,
already have a capsule wardrobe, whether we realize it or not, right? So we may as well take the time to be intentional and curate our capsule wardrobe, which can
yes.
be as little as, which really ideally should be no more than 10 to 15 core pieces. And then you may have some seasonal pieces that you throw in, or some glam pieces when you're going somewhere formal. But technically, your day to day wardrobe should be ideally anywhere between 10 to 15 for your capsule.
Okay.
So
Right.
again, we're pretty much doing that by the 20% thing, Nicole,
Okay.
already.
Okay.
It's just that we haven't been intentional with it.
We have not been intentional, and we got to do
Yeah.
that. Got to. Now, let me ask you this: how important is it to um, switch out things? Like, how do I want to? I'm trying to figure out the best way to ask this question. I'm my concern is, when do you know when to discard of things or get rid of things?
Okay. That's a good question. So I would say you would discard something when it no longer serves you. And
Okay.
that could be, let's start simple. Maybe you've lost a lot of weight and you can't fit your clothes. And you can always consider getting it tailored, especially if it's a good classic piece that's
Mm-hmm.
quality. I wouldn't suggest discarding it. Um, but you would discard it, as I was doing today, when it no longer serves you. So when I looked at some of the pieces that I put in Goodwill today, it's because I may have liked it at a particular time, or maybe I was going through a phase at that particular time and I'm no longer that person. It no
Mm-hmm.
longer speaks to my authentic self. And I just simply put, I just don't love it anymore. And if I don't love it, it doesn't need to be in my closet. I don't
Mm.
necessarily believe in following trends. I think it's
Okay.
much more important to have a classic, unique style all of your own. And then you may add some trendy pieces in to jazz it up. But
Okay.
for the most part, you are branded by your classic style. People know what to expect. You're consistent, and it just gives a well polished, well put together woman.
Nice. All right. Keisha mentioned that her adjective is caring. She said, I work from home. I don't care what I wear. She said, Caitlin, I need help. That doggone Keisha. So let me ask you this, as it relates to, maybe you see a new classic item that you want to include in your wardrobe. What's your thoughts on, if I buy something new, I need to get rid of something in my closet?
Yes, yes, that usually is the rule. So
Hmm.
your closet does not start to overflow. So,
Uh-huh.
yes, as you get that new item, say, what am I going to discard? What do I no longer love?
Yes.
Right? And you mentioned maybe a trendy piece. I
Hmm.
say, have fun, ladies. Experiment, play with things. You
Okay.
know, it play dress up, wear it different ways. YouTube is a wonderful resource on how to wear things. I've seen ladies wear button-down shirts backwards. And I'm
Hmm.
like, what? I saw a lady the other day cut a pair of baggy sweatpants and put it on as an off the shoulder top, crop
Oh,
top,
wow.
the way she cut it. I mean, so there's so much information out there. I happen to be partial to YouTube. I absolutely love YouTube, but experiment. Once you bring that thing in your closet that's new, experiment. Okay. Usually once you start shopping with intention,
Hmm.
when you buy that pink blouse, you know it's going to go with that pink and black skirt and your pink and black shoes and your black blazer, right? You know what it's going to go with already. But if you're not that quite set on what it's going to go with, when you bring it home, experiment with it, with what you already have and how you can incorporate it best into your current wardrobe to make it work for you. And again, always keeping your three adjectives in mind.
Nice. All right. I love that. I like the idea of uh, assembling the article of clothing or accessory in a different way. You
Mhm.
know, maybe now earrings are, I'll say brooch, for lack of a better term, or, you could just add it as an accessory on some other thing, like a hat or a purse or something like that. So I like that idea, that it can be multi-purpose.
Mix and matched and repurposing. Absolutely.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. So, we talked about glam, we talked about the 3 C's: confidence, charisma, and communication. We talked about mistakes: lack of awareness, impulse buying, lack of routine. Anything else we're missing in terms of mistakes as it relates to our image?
Not putting ourselves first.
Ooh, okay. How does that show up, Denise?
Oh, it shows up everywhere. So many women, again, I had the kids, I was busy doing this, I was busy doing that. And I just, put this to the side. It just wasn't a priority. And
Mm,
I understand,
mhm,
Nicole, we are juggling it all.
indeed.
We are exhausted, overworked, stressed, tired, everything.
Mhm,
But when we don't take the time to care for ourselves, and I
mm,
know you're very big on self care, and
mm,
this is a part of self care. I don't think anybody on this call can tell me that when they have on their best outfit and they are looking good, hair done, nails, everything, that they don't feel better about themselves. It doesn't give them a boost,
mhm,
right? And that helps with our mental health, and it helps us to get through the tough times. It helps us to feel confident and know, girl, I got this. I
yeah,
know that I'm gonna do it. I feel good. I look good, and I like this. This is another one that organization my son is in taught them. When you look good, you feel good. When you
mm.
feel good, you play good. When you play good, you get paid good.
I heard that.
Whatever that pay is, it could be just pay and self love, but
Mm,
you will feel the difference when you put yourself worth first, not in a selfish manner, but
mhm.
from a self care manner. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anyone else.
This is true. This is true. No, that was so, again, great tips as it relates to putting yourselves first. You mentioned the decision fatigue, and so I know as a woman, also as a single mom, I definitely have felt that whole decision fatigue piece, and so this, the deciding of this attire, it's it can be something that's not really a big deal, or something that I put in the back on the back burner. I know I have been lazy and just been like, I need something that just matches. You know, I rather have a shirt and a top and a bottom that matches. That way, I don't have to coordinate anything or what have you. So, I
Mhm.
know I have been guilty of being lazy as it relates to all of that. So, but I think what you have helped us with this evening is the intentionality behind it, and that also helps with our mindset and all of the things that we've talked about today: the goal setting, the learning and leveraging, the attitude. So again, everything starts with mindset. So if we have the intentionality as we prepare our image, our brand, we are a walking brand, right?
Yes, ma'am. We
Mhm.
are the brand, not your logo, not your letterhead, not all the things, right? We are the brand.
Mhm. And so what is your brand saying about you?
My brand says about me that I value being beautifully educated by the manner in which I carry myself. I take pride in my appearance, and that leads into my communication, confidence, and my charisma. And it's not just appearance on the outside, but the education that I give to myself and the knowledge that I give to myself on a daily basis to
Yeah.
be of service to others and to help them and to help me realize my goals. So I would hope that my brand of beautifully educated gives a sense of elegance to the world, that I can help people to become all that they want to be.
Nice, nice, nice. And I think indeed it does.
Thank
Miss Tanisha said, "That's me. I buy for everyone else except me. Great tips. Thanks. You are
you. You're
most
welcome,
welcome."
Tanisha.
being here
Yes.
with us.
And I just want to mention too, Nicole,
Hmm.
I work from home as well. And let me tell you, on those days, which is very rare, if I don't have on work attire, which for me is like a Calvin Klein dress, or, put my pearls on, even sitting at the computer, I don't feel myself. I
Mm,
don't come off as confident on my Zooms.
mm,
I don't feel as motivated. I
mm,
feel lethargic, and it makes a huge difference. I've had coworkers say, "You don't seem yourself today."
mm-hmm.
So it does come across. So I have found in making my effort of, putting myself together and taking that time, I feel the difference. And even when I have a power meeting on Zoom, in fact, I have on my heels right now.
Come
I
on
sure
now.
do. I got them on because if I don't, then I don't feel dressed. So if I'm
Mm,
interviewing or in a meeting, a powerful meeting, I put my shoes on. Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
All right. Well, there you
Mhm.
go. So it is, again, truly through and through, even in the virtual space. So just because you're at the house, in your home office or what have you, doesn't mean that you slack off. I know during COVID we saw folks talking about, office from the waist up, home from the waist down, right? And so we saw a lot of that during the pandemic. But, if that helps, being fully dressed help you, put on your power. I mean, your makes you help you come with your A game. That's what I'm trying to say, and be your best self. Then, doggone it, you better do it.
Yes.
All right. And so Keisha said she's taking notes. Wonderful, Keisha. Wonderful. All right. So Denise, as we prepare to close, I do want to kind of touch on what some of the first steps might be, um, for those of us who may have a mishmash of all sorts of things, right? We don't have our core color, we don't have a uniform. How can we maybe declutter our closet? Just to, and I know the first thing you're probably going to say is the things that we don't love anymore, or that are no longer serving us well, we should probably discard. But outside of that, what else can we do?
Okay, good question. So I'm going to circle back to the title, right? We want to increase our income. So let's use that as a baseline here.
Okay.
So first thing is, if you are interested in improving your style to help elevate your impact and income, what does that look? What is your goal? What are you going after? Do you want a promotion? Do you not, do you want more business? Do you just want to be portrayed in a different manner, right? Set out with that goal as you walk over to that closet
Okay.
and say, okay, I know that in order to be a manager at my job, I see the managers, I see how they dress. Let me look at my closet and see what I currently have that suits that for work. And then what do I have in my casual attire as well that still
Mm,
speaks manager but casual, because your brand is you through and through. When you go to bed, when you go out casually, when you go to something, for it doesn't stop in the workplace. So once you have that goal, and once you've determined your adjectives, I'm going to stick on that, Nicole, because that
oh,
helps us with our self, because we got to be real now. We're not trying to be somebody else.
right.
Go to that closet and you purge the closet. You do a closet audit, right?
Mm,
Take out those things that are not serving you. And then you take out the things that you love,
okay.
right? Take out 5 to 10 pieces of things that you love.
Okay.
And that can be the beginning of your capsule wardrobe. Look at
Got
it. Okay, it could be a pair of black slacks. Okay, I'm going to become a manager. A pair of nice fitting black slacks is very professional. What can I add to this? A button down blouse and a blazer? Or what accessories do I have? A string of pearls will make anything look elevated and elegant.
it. Mm-hmm.
So you start with what you have. You don't go out there spending a bunch of money and impulse buying without having clear goals. And then once you see gaps, that's when you have your list, right? And then you
Mm-hmm.
go to the store of your choice, the store within your budget, because you can find great finds from the thrift stores to
Mm-hmm.
Saks Fifth Avenue and anywhere in
Yeah.
between. I know I
Mm,
love Ross. I like thrifting as well because you find some excellent pieces in there, one of a kind pieces that you can really work with and upgrade your wardrobe on a budget.
Okay.
Hmm.
Love it. And if you're interested in any of these things, maybe you might feel like, oh, it's a little overwhelming for me. Do you offer these services, Dr. Denise?
Yes, ma'am, I certainly do. So I have my Shine Bright coaching method that I
Okay.
use with my clients that are a part of my coaching programs. I
Mhm.
have one-on-one coaching, and I'm also in the process of putting together a webinar, a workshop called the Flawless Fit Formula. And that
Nice.
is going to be centered around helping us understand body proportions,
Mhm.
finally figure out what our body shape, our true body shape is, and how to dress with ease and confidence to be our best every day and meet our personal and professional goals to increase our income and impact. So, yes, I do offer both one to one coaching, group coaching, as well as online courses.
Sounds like we need to have a conversations with Nicole and beautifully educated workshop together.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to tell folks how they can connect with you and give us any closing remarks.
Okay. Thank you. So I currently have a YouTube channel. It's called The Beautifully Educated Show. And I give funny tips and tricks to help ladies with everything that we discussed today. In fact, we have a video on just that. How do I get out of the COVID rut back into the world? So it's a young channel. It's growing every day, and I'm adding content. But please check it out. You can definitely get some great tips and advice on how what you can start tonight to help elevate your style. And also, my email is info@drdeniseb.com. So if you want to shoot me a message to ask a question or to connect with me on something, please be my guest. Go right ahead. I'd love to hear from you and answer questions and help you with all of your styling dilemmas. And also, I have a link in Nicole's chat where if you want to schedule a call with me, a Calendly link, where you want to have a quick Zoom call with me so we can talk one on one and talk about your goals and see what may be a fit for you, whether it be one of my webinars or one to one coaching or group coaching. You can easily schedule a call with me so I can get to know you better and we can help you accomplish your goals.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for this conversation. I think that you definitely have given us much to think about and some really useful tools that we can use to get our closets in check, as well as at least identify the adjectives that we want to project within our wardrobe. And then also, uh putting ourselves first. Like that's the main thing that I really got from this, is that I need to put myself first. So I'm working on it. I'm working on it. All right. Especially as it relates to my image and uh the my style.
And you know, it's funny you said closing remarks because I think of something I say this to my child and I say this to everybody.
Hmm.
Just remember this affirmation: love God, love yourself, love learning, and be beautifully you.
All right. Love God, love yourself, love learning, and be beautifully you. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. I hope the viewers found this to be helpful. If you did, please let us know in the comments. I see a few folks have chimed in. It's Peachy. This was good. Thank you, ladies. Our pleasure. Thank you for being here and for your input. Iris, I love this
Thank
topic.
you. Thank
Thank you,
you. We
Iris.
love you.
Yes, we appreciate your input. And look, your inspiration, Iris. You said you pull your clothes out uh, at the beginning of the week in advance for each work week, and so you're not scrambling around at the last minute. I'm gonna strive for that. That's goals right there, Iris. That is goals. All right. Keisha, she gave us some hands up and some hearts. Wonderful. Thank you so much. So I want to encourage us to keep this conversation going because I think there's a lot to be said here about the whole GLAM acronym of the goal setting, the learning, and the leveraging, the attitude, our mindset, the confidence, the charisma, and the communications. And we really need to be intentional about, who we are and how we want to project that. So, again, thank you so much, Dr. Denise, for this discussion and wishing you all the best with uh, your business and future endeavors. And please keep us posted on the webinar so we can share it with the ladies and so that they can be a part of that.
Yes, I absolutely will. And Nicole, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. This is such a full circle moment to be sitting here with you. And I'm just so proud of your success and all that you've done since I moved here, back to Tallahassee. Just watching you grow has been amazing. So
Okay.
God bless you and the work that you're doing. And I'm
Thank
just so happy that you called me on here, my sister.
Absolutely, my sister. I
Yes,
appreciate you
yes,
too.
yes.
And again, much success to you. I hope and pray that we are able to collaborate and do something in the community together, because I really think it's gonna be magical. So, thank you again. Anybody that's maybe new to my platform, Conversations with Nicole, I invite you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're here Mondays and Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. and the focus is on mental health and wellness in Black and Brown communities, encouraging us to get our checkup from the neck up and be our best selves. But part of that is our vocational wellness, is our financial wellness, and that's all of kind of what we talked about here tonight. So again, let's keep this conversation going. Share this video with a friend, a family member, a loved one, and encourage them to identify their three positive adjectives and to uh, identify those pieces in their wardrobe that they love and that are serving them well. All right. So y'all have a great rest of the evening. Good weekend. I know the game is this weekend in Atlanta. Go Rattlers. Y'all be safe if you're traveling there. And we will see y'all next time.
Yes. Thank you.
You're
Good
welcome.
night.
Bye.